Not yet.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Pratima. You're there.
Okay. Yes.
Hear me?
Is that Lakshmi?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So
Okay.
let me turn on my camera. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Great.
Yes, ma'am. So I have made you the co-host. Can we just quickly check if you're able to show, share screen and all?
Absolutely. One moment. I'm not able to share my video.
Mm.
Are you able to see me?
No, ma'am.
Give me a moment. Settings. Lakshmi, can I rejoin in because it's saying that, okay, I do not know why is it so, but let me rejoin in so that the video is on.
Yeah, fine, ma'am. Yeah. Sure.
Thank you. Okay, Lakshmi, am I audible?
Yes, yes, yeah, you're
Lakshmi, am I
audible.
audible?
Yes, yes, yeah, Pratima, you're audible and you're also.
Okay, great. Okay, so you
So,
wanted me to share the screen with
just
you.
a quick check if you're able to,
Am I?
share it and everything is working fine.
Sure, sure, absolutely. Is that good? Are you able to see it
Yes, it is actually not visible, ma'am. I have
right
given
now?
you the co-host rights, so you should be able to share the screen now.
Yeah, I have shared it, but is it visible?
Yes, now it is visible.
I
Yes.
have shared the screen.
Uh,
Okay, great.
but your slides are not visible. We can see that it's on.
Yeah, so that's the slide number one. And as I go forward, you will be able to see the rest of them.
Okay, fine. Sounds good. So, ma'am,
Okay.
let's quickly start.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, now it is visible. So let's quickly start without wasting further time, as we are already 4 past 2. And very good afternoon to everyone here. The The future of L&D will be shaped by several key trends, including the increased use of artificial intelligence, the rise of microlearning, and the growing importance of soft skills. So, AI will be used to personalize learning experiences, automate tasks, and provide insights into learners' behavior. Micro learning will become more prevalent as learners increasingly prefer short focused learning experiences. And finally, soft skills will be increasingly important. SEM's Welfare Foundation, a registered not profit organization, is dedicated to social impact across various sectors. We focus on education, particularly skill development and entrepreneurship. Through our initiative, DigiSaksham, we have created training programs in IT, finance, retail, and entrepreneurship, impacting over 6,000 individuals. We are currently upskilling inmates in Haryana jail and collaborating with universities and colleges. We have also partnered with banks to place over 1,500 candidates in jobs. In just a short time, SEMS has established itself as a force for positive change, equipping individuals with skills for employment and promoting women's leadership in various industries. Now, moving on to a collaborating partner, we have HKBK Degree College, which was set up to provide modern, formal, and professional education to the deserving students. It believes that education is the key that empowers the students for peaceful coexistence, encourages tolerance, which is necessary for peace and communal harmony. With this belief, HKBK Degree College is truly committed to its logo of 3Ds: discipline, dedication, and determination. It aims to provide the best possible educational experience through excellence in teaching and research activities for today's student and professionals of tomorrow. They aim to cater the knowledge seeker and shape up their career in modern professional world through quality education, research-based practical know-how, innovative and advanced teaching methodologies, and global exposure. So their vision is to provide quality education to the younger generation so that they may be counted among the best minds in the world. With emphasis on discipline, determination, and dedication towards education, it hopes to generate graduates with utmost respect for human values. They also aim to achieve this by continuous knowledge enhancement, synergic contribution to society through value added services, commitment, and value based teaching. Now, our other partner, SEMS Web Solution, it provides placement and admission support. Now, we have a keynote speaker, Miss Dr. Pratima Jagdish, who is a corporate reader and who turned into an academic entrepreneur. She is also a founder and director of Success Academy of Management and Education in Bangalore. With over 2 decades of corporate experience, she holds an engineering degree, an MBA in an international business, and dual doctorates in business administration and management. She is an alumnus of IIMA, XLRI, and global institutions, adding credential as a professional counselor and life coach. Passionate about empowering individuals, Dr. Prathima mentors students, trains teachers, and conducts parenting workshops. Her initiatives span career guidance, life skill training, and professional development. She also advises organizations as an HR strategist and business coach. A Kannada enthusiast, she narrates inspiring stories on her YouTube channel and Spotify podcast, Spurti Stories. Recognized for her contribution, she has received a prestigious awards including Top 100 HR Leaders in Asia Pacific 2015 and Entrepreneur Excellence Award 2021 with Top 10 Soft Skill Trainers in 2022. Her vision is to inspire millions, firmly believing that one small step can lead to a transformative journey. So I would once again take this opportunity to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Pratima Jagdish, with a hearty round of applause. So this has given an immense significance for today's session. So yes, ma'am, now you can take over the session now.
Sure. Very well. Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you so very much. I hope I will keep asking again and again because it's a virtual session. Obviously, I need to recheck whether am I audible. So kindly help me to ensure that you're all there and I am audible and also visible. I want to make this session absolutely a brilliant learning session because we are speaking about learning and development. And obviously, when we are speaking about learning and development, the learning in this session should be as efficient as it can be. So, with that, we will go ahead to, the future of L&D itself is a kind of very catchy statement, a very hook statement to say that what is the future of L&D, how were we, and how did the things really transform it to be. So having said that, I have shared my screen. I hope all of you are able to see my screen. Can you please confirm this?
Yes, ma'am.
Is my
Visible.
screen visible to all of you?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So, I just wanted to start off to say that we all have studied in classrooms, and how things have really transformed and the things have evolved over here is a very important aspect. From classroom to the cloud, what are the emerging trends of learning and development? Lakshmi was very nice to go ahead to tell us about a lot many different aspects to say about micro learning, soft skills, skilling, etc. It was a kind of a honey to my ears because she herself made a few of those mentions, and this was something which is very important. And when it comes to the kind of learning and development, obviously we need to look forward for what is this most important thing that we have learned until today. Let me tell you. So basically, in my very first leadership role, I learned the value of the kind of a decision making at the right time, the active listening, or the kind of negotiation skills, which was never taught as a part of my traditional classroom or the kind of the things that really went in organization and the team dynamics. These were some of the aspects which was never taught to us. One is what is for the job that we would want to learn. So there are dimensions of the learning, my dear friends. One is what are the things that I'm learning for the job, and what are the things that I'm learning for myself. So these two are some things which are very important for us to understand when it comes to the kind of learning by itself. So I would want to ask a very reflective question to all of you right at the beginning of the session, that what is the most important thing that you have learned until today? Think about it. And I'm sure there are quite a lot of answers. I would want to hear from people as well. And I would request Lakshmi and other coordinators to help me with any any of those chats because I would not be seeing the charts directly. So anybody who would want to share, they can just go ahead. I can only give one participant to let me know what is that most important thing that you think that you have learned as on date, and why do you think so. If you can tell me about it, then we can directly take a plunge and continue. Anybody who would want to speak about that? What is that important thing, most important thing that you have learned until today? Anybody? Or do
Ma'am,
you want to
learning is
use
an
any chart,
never-ending process.
the any messages? That will be great as well, because I see quite a lot of people around. So anybody who would want to speak about that, let us make this as an interactive session. It's just not like a one-way communication though. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, I think I'm not sure if there are someone who would want to speak and you're taking time, because I'm unable to see that though. But coming
Ma'am,
across, I
actually,
would want to start thinking, and it's a very insightful question. And the second most important question, my dear friends, is first of all, why do we even need to learn? You need to figure out, unless and until you have a very solid reason on why do we need to learn. Is it for transformation? Is it for evolution? Is it for something that you're looking for a career progression? Or is it something that you would want your potential to be analyzed and you would want to evaluate yourself? The why is extremely important as a part of our golden circle. When you can figure out why, you will obviously be able to figure out what and how. This is something which is important for learning, because we can learn 100 different things, but why are we learning what we are learning is something which is extremely important for us to figure out. Having said that, what is the kind of the future fit learning that we are looking out for? Whenever we say the future of L&D, future fit learning is something which is very important. There are two dimensions in it. One is as an employer, you might be a human resources, you might be into a prospective HR personal, you might be a alumni of any of these institutes, or you might be a faculty or an academician from the learning and development and the management schools, etc. Or you might be any other management working professional. But for the fact that when you look at the future for L&D, you might be from an employer angle, or you might be from an employee angle. That is, from somebody who is giving the learning and somebody who's taking the learning. So when it comes to the kind of giver, what is that I need to give to the employees? What is that I need to enable my team members as a part of my future L&D strategies? One is as an employee, when I'm taking the learning, what am I expecting from my employer is something which is very important. So there are two angles that we will have to adapt ourselves for. The future fit learning is all about to say being future set or future fit means that are you prepared for the jobs that are still not existing? It is still not existing, but you are being future fit means that you're preparing for the jobs that don't exist as on today, something that is important for us to understand. And what is the future for it? So all of us, it's not about the linear. Learning is never linear. As you go forward in the management ladder, as you pass through the number of years of experience, it is also important for us to understand the more you grow up, the more you need to learn as well, the more you need to adapt. So basically, a lot of people feel that, yeah, it is my first job. I have already into an experienced lateral working professional. Am I supposed to be learning, or am I supposed to be even giving this particular test or anything like that? I would highly endorse that learning is never linear. Learning is always cyclical. You need to keep repetitive, and it should be a repetitive process. It should be repeating, and one thrives the momentum for an another from an individual perspective. We all learn from an individual perspective, we pass it on to the team, and the organization flows through as a part of the learning. This is how the entire churning of the wheels happen as a part of the learning, and we need to keep all of them as a part of our strategy or the kind of an approach. So before we take a plunge into what is the future of L&D, before we look at the future, it's important for us to understand what has been our past. How are we here, and why are we here for what we are? This is something which is important. To just give you a speck of it, how did the learning have changed from last 70 plus years? Predominantly because we have taken the economy started growing post World War, and there was a kind of this traditional learning that we all encountered with the, sorry, one moment please, there has been lot of messages like this. Yeah, so traditional education was more from an angle of the factory model of education, the curriculum based, the industry jobs, all of them started coming up as a part of the traditional education which thrived during 1950s and 70s. Then came as a part of the progressive education, and the progressive education, it had an overlap between 1960s to 80s that you were able to see. So basically this was more from an angle of the economy started developing, and how do we even want to look at the education when it comes to the first foundational concepts and the aspects that have been looking at the facet of the technology advancement in the various different domains. Then came the information age and the technological integration, particularly in India as well. We started at the late 2000s or the early 2000s to be more precise. So, this was an information age. This was a technological integration that came into the place. And from then on, there have been a evolution that it has actually went through, and there is right now with the AI powered tools, there is a revolution that's happening as well. Probably 50 years from today, when we look at 2010 to 2025 and 50s, it becomes extremely important for us to understand that how important is all this as a part of our L&D, particularly when it comes to 21st century skills and the kind of a globalization that's happening and the kind of the personalized and adaptive learning that we have currently with the various generations in the workplace. Then the concept of the lifelong learning and the life wide learning is something which is very important as a part of the present generation too. So we need to understand the fact of why is it required, and to be more precise, particularly when it comes to the kind of the learning today, more than around 94%, this is something which is more to do with the stats. A lot of organization, there was a survey that was being done with a cumulative study of the LinkedIn, and they went ahead to say that in various different domains, 94% of the employee group adapts and endorses that learning is something which is a part of life. And this is something which is important, my dear friends. To start off with, let me go ahead to take a plunge as a part of the latest trend number one, which is the digital transformation in learning. Not a surprise. We all know that how we have adapted ourselves to the digital aspect. Why is this? Because there comes the three aspects when it comes to digital transformation in the learning. One is the kind of accessibility, one is the kind of scalability, and also one is the kind of the real time updates. All of them go feasible with respect to the trends that we look forward for, whether be it the LMS part of it, be it with the various different online learning modules, be it Coursera, be it EDX, be it Udemy or Allison, or any of these aspects today have again once, it has gone ahead to say it's called as a M learning right now, the mobile learning. This is also something which is important for us to understand, that utilizing the virtual collaboration tools for a self-directed learning to adapt the remote workplace is also a part of the digital learning. If you are an organization, you need to start thinking of how do I utilize the digital transformation as a part of my technological advancement to make sure that my employees are leveraging the learning as a part of their enhancement in productivity. This becomes vital. So basically, when it comes to the kind of organizations, particularly at Walmart, they went ahead to adapt the mobile learning. Okay, so the mobile friendly LMS, it showed that there was a high improvement in the productivity. This made a lot of change as a part of the organization. So you need to figure out the part of what digital tools can you utilize to make sure that there is a digital transformation. Or else, to start with, you can also start analyzing what are the tools that you have personally or recently that you have used to enhance your learning experience. Probably that's where your starting point would go. But the biggest challenge as a part of the digital transformation is the kind of an reaching unprivileged classes and the areas as well. If at all you have the locations or the people working in the remotest of the places, that might be one of the challenges. But you need to ensure that digital transformation as a part of the technological advancement is something which is the trend number one. Moving further, I think Lakshmi did mention about the latest trend as a part of the micro learning. I'm a big endorser for micro learning. So basically, micro learning, why it is trending today is because of the three prominent reasons. One is that we are really, really busy. We have a very high busy schedules, and the kind of the psychology of a brain, of human brain, it has a natural preference of consuming information as a part in the forms of bits and chunks. That's the reason why we said it's a bite-sized content. Micro learning looks forward for a busy schedules. It also looks forward for our immediate to pick up how small chunk can I just go ahead to learn immediately. Plus, one of the most important part of the micro learning, why are we so excited about it, is also for a flip side, for it is the attention span. Can anybody guess what is the kind of an attention span currently human brain has? It's a very interesting and a very intriguing information as well. If anybody can answer nothing like it, I will be super excited if anyone can answer that. What is the attention span of a human brain according to you? Please don't Google. You can just go ahead to let me know what it is. So that will be a
20
great help.
minutes. 20 minutes.
Uh, 20 minutes. Okay. Great. Is that Anija? I'm
Yes.
not. Okay, great. Not 20 minutes. Okay. Another one, a wild guess. Let me also tell you, go in seconds. Don't even go near
I'm at
minutes.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay. Junaid. Okay.
I'm at 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay. Not too far away. Yes, eventually it lays between 6 to 8 seconds, my dear friends. Attention span today of a human brain is 6 to 8 seconds. And this is something which is very alarming as well, because we look forward for attention spanning, and for if we want to go in depth for any subject to expert to develop that expertise, we also need that attention span. Probably that's also one of the reasons why a lot of people speak about the kind of focus, enhanced meditation as a part of habit, mindfulness, etc. This is something which is being very, very important, and this is taking a lot of turn. And also, one of the aspects that I would want to share with you is about the kind of forgetting curve. So forgetting curve is also something that we looked forward when we wanted to adapt micro learning. What is the kind of when it comes to the forgetting curve is how long can we ensure that we remember and recall the information in a span of time. Okay, so the forgetting curve shows that around 80% of the information that we have consumed, it will just get diluted completely in the span of around 18 days. And the research is still on. There are some of them who will say 18 days, there are some of them who will say 21, and there are some of them who will say 30. But eventually, majority of the statistical analysis say that it's hardly around, maximum it ranges between 2.5 to 3 weeks. So basically, think about it. The information that I have consumed, if not reviewed, the forgetting curve shows that 80% is already left. It's already been diluted. And this is something which is very important. So micro learning comes into that particular aspect of, can I repeat this again and again and again so that I don't forget it, so that I can consciously implement. It is more of just in time. We call it as a net learning. Sorry, net learning is more of whenever I have a time where I can utilize, where I'm waiting for someone, where I'm waiting in an airport or a railway station or a bus station or for a metro, or I am probably I have just 5 minutes of my time. This is where people squeeze in to learn. That is just in time learning. Next is a scenario based learning. For the specific scenario, I can learn. And as I already mentioned, mobile learning is something because of the app. There are lots and lots of applications today which actually looks forward and gives you those chunks and bits and bytes for learning. And gamification is another brilliant way of micro learning because it shows and it encourages. That there is a hormone that gets secreted as a part of your serotonin and the feel good factor and the feel good hormone for yourself to say that, yeah, I have learned 20 points that I have gained. It's just like your diet scenario wherein you will say that, oh, I have completed 5,000 steps, 10,000 steps, etc. Learning is no exemption over here. The gamification actually goes encourage you to say you have reached level 7, level 8, you have reached 1700 levels, etc., which encourages you to learn more and keep going further. And it gives you in the nuggets, and you feel that kind of a contentment to say that, yeah, I have learned something new today. And there has also been interactive infographics where you don't spend too much of time going through theory as such, just a part of graphics with the information embedded to it. You quickly go ahead to take, this is what the information is all about, and that makes a lot of difference as a part of the micro learning. So recently I would want to say that, think about this organization actually adapted micro learning for onboarding process. Okay, they wanted to give away the value systems and the vision of the organization. They made a bite sized video content for around 3 minutes each, and they repetitively ensured that it goes in different chunks, and they saw that there is extremely efficient way of communicating rather than just an employee sitting in the orientation program to say that, okay, these are my mission, vision, the values, etc. This was a micro learning that in the LMS that they started adapting. This actually showed quite a lot of efficiency and the kind of a recollection and the way they embedded that as a part of their organization culture. This is where you can make a difference. I will move forward. This is what I just mentioned. This was one of the case analysis and to comprehend it better. There was the scenario, a startup implemented a micro learning approach for an onboarding new employees, emphasizing the quick focus modules for the rapid assimilation of information. So you can go ahead to look forward. For you, what you can do is, what are the key components of the micro learning for the onboarding strategy? If you have one, how can you embed that? And what is the kind of a knowledge retention that you would want to re emphasize when it comes to employees? Then, what are the challenges that you have encountered in the process? So, you will also have to ensure that you tabulate this to fill the gaps. And this is something which is important. Micro learning can be involved and adapted in many places, right from the onboarding to make sure that you are also using it to the reskill and upskilling as well. So this makes a lot of difference. Moving forward, latest trend number 3 is more from a personalized learning parts. I should mention that it's important today that it is relevant to us. We are all more customized and we have accepted the fact that all of us are unique. If we are unique, why should I be learning something which is not relevant to me? That was the question. So the trend started developing to say that I need something which I think I am interested in. I need something which I can learn in this period of time. I think I need to learn at this particular speed at this particular time of the day. This was the personalized learning parts, my dears. So the customization of the individual needs, be it the relevance, the kind of an increased engagement, and the kind of retention, were the three main aspects when it comes to personalized learning parts. It's very adaptive and adaptive as a part of the approach. Next comes, it's on demand training. I will learn when I would want to learn. So as I said, I would want to learn early in the morning or in the afternoon or in the night before I sleep. So it can be anytime. Next is the increasing engagement, as I did already mention, and the tools and technologies for the personalization. I would want to learn from any place available. I have a system, I would want to learn. I have my mobile, I want to learn. So it's more from an angle of what is adaptable for me. Some people have the habit of going through everything on the phone. Some people have habit of learning through a system itself, making notes, etc. Even making notes also is being adapted and embedded as a part of their technological advancement of the software, and this is also a personalized learning parts, and this is the latest trend as a part of the L&D, and we will have to ensure that this is the approach when you are a giver. Next comes as a part of the latest trend, number 4, the data analytics in the learning. I'm sure each one of you will agree with me. Data analytics today is creating a wave across the industry, and particularly it provides an insights towards learner behavior, and it provides the insights towards the completion rates, how much have you completed, and what is the skill gap that I need to ensure I focus and fill it. Using of the data analytics, it provides the actionable plan and strategy and approach towards the learner, and looking at all these three dimensions of the learner behavior, what is the completion rates, and also with respect to the skill gaps that is required in relevance to the role that they are playing, and in to the competencies that they need to improve on and focus on. So the key metrics, particularly in the data analytics today, we have to look forward for how effective is the learning, more to do with the post training application. We adapt that as a part of the post training application. Next, what is the engagement rates? Can I capture your engagement rates with that? This is the key metrics to analyze as a part of the data analytics. Next comes as a part of the ROI. So ROI is something which is very important. There are ROI as a part of tangible ROI and the intangible part of it. But how do you go ahead to adapt, and how do you go ahead to capture this is something, the expectation which you need to set for somebody who is consuming the learning content. So one of the aspects that I would want to mention over here is an Amazon. Okay, all of us know Amazon. It's a pretty famous brand. Amazon, it tracks its training for all its employees and the progress what they have done, and also predict the future skills that is required for the roles that they are doing, and it tailor makes the programs for every individual employee. So Amazon is a kind of a solid LMS platform that they have adapted, which they analyze. And why do they analyze? To ensure that the skill gap is being looked forward for, they customize it, they look forward for the future skills that a person needs to improve on. I have an XYZ person, I want the XYZ person to improve on this in the next 1 year. Then if so, what is the future skills that is required for this person who is playing in this particular role? This is analytics. It is not about the past. Past is always great. Past is analyzed to predict the future. Those are, that is the significance of data analytics, my dears. This is something that we need to adapt in LMS. It is not about the past data that we need to focus on. The focus is to ensure that I predict. It is about predictive analytics. So you first diagnose. It's about diagnostic analytics to say what is happening with my learners, what is the metrics that it is showing. There are people who learn between January to March to a very great extent. If that is the case, what is that trend that I need to ensure that it is a kind of an year long ones? So we need to analyze this to ensure that it is customized, and this is a very very important role. But I will also give you the kind of a challenge so that you are aware about it. One of the primary challenge when it comes to data analytics is the data privacy concerns. So you need to take care of the data privacy concerns, particularly in the organization when you want to standardize the kind of metrics that you would want to go forward across your departments. So the data privacy is one concern, and you need to also set that bar to say across this department, across this particular team, these are the metrics that will be analyzed. So you need to set those, and that is not an easy job. That is the challenge. Data analytics in the learning is not about just the software part of it, but before it gets onto the product of the software, you are supposed to be very clear. If you are an employer, if you are a HR professional, if you are a student who are looking forward to be a part of the human resources, you need to understand that what is the value addition as a human brain to say this is what I need to capture. That should go as a part of the HR analytics, so that this is a very very strong trend that we are predicting to say this will rule the rooster in the next decade, and this is something which is important. Please don't underestimate the data analytics. I would want to emphasize just not about the learning, my dears. I understand that most of you are from human resources and somebody who's from the management professionals at various different cadres. Data analytics is, at a transient level, it looks very complex. but it needs to be cracked. With the kind of the AI powered tools available today, this is not, if it is not too easy, it is also true that it is not too difficult. You need to pour your insights, you need to pour your reflections, you need to start thinking on what exactly is it. Because I am always a big endorser to say that HR sits on a heap of data. I emphasize HR sits on a heap of data, particularly which can complement business, and we are not doing anything about it. Be it with demographics. If I ask you in your organization, there are number of people, there are some thousand people. In that thousand people, who are your bachelor's degree holders, who are master's degree holders, who are doctoral degree programs holders? What is the value addition that they are bringing in? It's just not about performance or productivity, it's also where are they coming from. What is your male to female ratio? What is your diversity and inclusion ratio that you have included as a part of organization? It's also about their performance year on year. How is it been going? What is the rate of promotion and the progression that they are going through? What is the kind of a learning that they have been through? Have they been somebody who have put across their hands in most of the departments? Are they aligned with the organizational culture? Are they aligned with the leadership values? This is data analytics. If I would say that, okay, I have one of my if you are a part of my team and you are Junaid or you are Anija or anybody like that, I would want to come and say, Anija, you are a part of HR team. If you would want me to go to one of the university, okay, ABC university for a campus hiring, why should I go and why should not I go? So why not I try some other particular university for a campus hiring? Why should I keep going over there again and again and again? So basically, you will also have to have an analytics, just not about speaking in the air that, yeah, we have a great stability over there, we get good people, etc. This is just that you're speaking in a very transient and a very superficial way. But with data analytics, my dears, be it in the recruitment, be it in performance, be it in HRBP, be it in L&D, be it in Comp and Ben, you need to ensure that you leverage on this. I emphasize this again and again and again. And this is something which is really, really important, because please don't underestimate the value of the data that you are setting in. And today, particularly, why is it so vital is you need not have to be subjective. You need not have to work with so much of Excels and worksheets and files, etc. There is product for it, there is AI tool for it, which you just need to go ahead, crack what you need to really do. And this is the latest trend that I cannot be emphasizing much more on this as a part of your data analytics in the learning. Next comes, as a part of the latest trend as a skill development, one of the most favorite topic of mine is the skill development and reskilling. As Lakshmi said, I am one of the expertise in L&D and Comp and Ben, but I also work in the skill development with HRs at various different magnitudes and train them as well. But when it comes to skill development, which is personally my favorite, there are three different ways of looking at the skilling. One is upskilling, one is reskilling, and one is cross skilling. What is this difference? I will definitely let you know in a couple of minutes. So, particularly, you need to understand that skilling comes, the kind of the statistics. When we look at the future of L&D, I also need to give you the statistics as on 2025, 2030, 2047, etc. The automation that we are doing, the rate of the automation and the artificial intelligence and the way that the things are developing, it almost threatens around 800 million jobs globally by 2030, which is 5 years from today. But it also creates the demand for the new and the specialized roles. This is where the emphasis of the skill development and the reskilling comes. I repeat, the automation, it definitely does threaten around millions of the jobs, but equally gives an opportunity, and it places a demand for the new and a specialized roles. What am I trying to say? All that I'm trying to say is you cannot sit at the same place just because you are in a position. It does not endorse that you will thrive at the same rate in the next couple of years to come. What brought you here will not take you where you want to go. As simple as that. Reskilling becomes extremely important because the kind of the problem solving, the kind of the collaboration, the kind of the digital literacy that we are looking out for, and the technological advancement, it is something which is leaps and bounds, which is happening as a part of the entire learning when it comes to the skill development part of it. And this is vital as we go forward. So what do I mean by it is, what is the difference between reskilling, upskilling, and cross skilling? Reskilling is all about identifying the skills within the traditional domain that you belong to that might need adapting due to the changes in the industry, trends, or the technology that you are in. Next, I'll walk you through what is upskilling and cross skilling, and then I'll give you an example. Upskilling is identify the kind of an advanced or a specialized skills that align with your core competency and are relevant for the career progression. Cross skilling is more of identify the kind of a neighborhood, the other disciplines that can complement your foundation and your domain. This enhances your versatility, this enhances your diversity. So let me substantiate with an example. Reskilling is about, um, let's take an example of a human resource professional, a HR professional. Okay. Identify, you are all good with recruitment, talent acquisition, or the HRBP, people management, so many of them. Okay. Today, what is the industry trend or the technology that is happening? Can you think about how can I embed the artificial intelligence? What are the different tools that I can go ahead to adapt to understand what is the industry trend? How can I learn something more better while I'm already an expert in human resources? I know this stuff. But if you're into recruitment, let me give you a micro level example. If you're into recruitment, you have been screening, you have been talking to people, scheduling, etc. Have you ever figured out what is the challenges in recruitment? How can you reskill to ensure that you fill the gap? How can you ensure that your productivity, instead of you filling around 5 to 7 or 8 or 10 positions in a month, can you increase it to 2 more, 3 more, etc.? Can you arrive at a right kind of the profile within no time? This is the industry trend. There is an industry, there is AI that has got generated that you can utilize for your proficient productivity, all said and done. But how do you apply that as a part of your role? That is reskilling. Upskilling is, you would want to become a recruitment head. How do I go about it? What is the advanced and specialized skills that align with your core competency, which is relevant to your career progression? If I want to become a recruitment head or if I want to become a HR manager, what is that advanced and specialized skills? I am into recruitment, but I am really not sure of my labor laws. I'm not sure of the comp and ben. I'm not sure of how is the HRBP. I'm not too sure of how do I handle the legal cases when it comes to HR. This is upskilling. This is advanced and specialized skills to align as a part of your core competency, which is relevant to your career progression within the same domain. Going further, what is cross skilling? I do not know what is finance. I exactly will have to look out for budgeting, but for which, what is this financial aspects that every HR professional needs to understand? Identify those skills from other disciplines that can complement your foundation, that enhances the versatility. Because just because you're a HR, it does not discount for the fact that you should not know about finance. Be it with budgeting, actually the personal budget, the salaries that we look forward for is the highest as a part of your organization budget. But do you really look forward to say what is the budgeting? How do I understand the balance sheet? How do I complement the business, understanding the financial aspects of it? What has been the pillars of the finance when it comes to complementing human resources domain? This is where the cross skilling comes, and that's the prominent differences between upskilling, reskilling, and the cross skilling. I hope I was able to walk you through what it is. I'll take a pause and ask anyone if at all they have any questions. Happy to answer before we go forward. Anybody who have any questions? Nobody? Okay. Yes, Gaurav, I'm able to see you. Please tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Gaurav.
Ma'am, I'm Dr. Gaurav Agarwal, Assistant Professor in Sharda University.
Very good. Okay, glad to
Okay.
meet you.
So,
E-meet you.
actually, ma'am, I can we get your mail ID or mobile number so that I want to interact my students with a program with you.
Definitely, Gaurav. I'll give it to you at the end of the session. But is there any questions that I can help you for the
No, ma'am, actually,
trends
it's
that
a
I?
very excellent learning, and
Okay.
the way you feed with the your knowledge, it's a very fantastic, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Pleasure is mine. Great. Thank you, Harleen. I did see your message as well. And let's go forward. Let's take a plunge into the next latest trend. We are yet to cover a couple of more. Next comes the virtual and the augmented reality training. This is something which is very near to my heart because I really feel very good when it comes to the virtual and augmented reality because it gives you the kind of a real world application. Why do we need real world application today? Why is that? What is so different? And there were a lot of people who worked until today with absolutely no simulations, no virtual and augmented reality. But that's, I think that's the biggest difference. That's the most important question that we need to answer. It is not about did our previous generation do and how did they do it. It's about how has the world evolved from the previous generation to today. That's the more important question. So why is there is a need for the real world applications today is it is preferred because the things are really complex. I think none of us will disagree for my statement because when the things are really getting complex, we look forward for details. The eye to detailing is extremely important when there is too much of complexity. It's like a mind maze, and how do I go forward and catch the eye to details is something which is very consequent. Then comes the people expect those eye to the details to be captured because we look forward for the quality today. It's not about how much did you do, it's about how well did you do it. So the quality is given the utmost preference, and this becomes extremely vital. Where did virtual and augmented reality really was a game changer is particularly in healthcare, automation, manufacturing, and aviation. This was something which came across as an immersive experiences to lead to the better engagement. Let me tell you a personal anecdote wherein when I started working for my very first organization, we had simulations. Probably I'm speaking of 24 years back. Okay, we had simulations right in front of us, and we used to actually disassemble the entire system. And when I say system, it's a computer. We used to disassemble everything and reassemble, troubleshoot various different technical issues over it, etc. And right in front of me was a simulation wherein the customer on the other end used to go ahead to handle and to check out what is the problem, because we used to make the customer do and troubleshoot themselves. So if the customer is on the other line and I'm trying to help them to disassemble the system, troubleshoot with me, etc., I need to have a clarity on what am I doing, where am I putting my hand into. This is where the simulation comes forward for. And this started way back in 24 years ago, my dear friends. It's not about today at all. The simulation has been a part of the industry from a very long time. But the augmented reality, particularly with the healthcare, say for instance, if you are in a medical field, or if you're a biomedical engineer, if you're working in a healthcare industry, if you're a doctor, for example, a medical practitioner, before I get into an very different challenge in cardio, immunopathy, or anything like that, I need to also understand that what is the complexity, because every other patient who is very different, and this is something which is important for us to understand. So when the complexity is at a different level, when there is a unique customized way of looking forward, it is equally important for us to understand that the simulation and the virtual augmented reality plays a very vital role. Same thing applies to the manufacturing. Aviation is also something which is very important because aviation is up there. You really do not know how exactly is it, but can I sit over here and then look forward for. And defense is utilizing AR and the VR extensively of late. There is a virtual tours that is being given, and even people, particularly even it's just not about science. Let me give you an example even from history. The one who studies archaeology or anthropology, etc. It's also about the people who sit at one place, see where is this place. I can sit here virtually and look at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro sites. I can look out for Vijayanagar Empire. I can sit here and look forward for various different places. This is something which is important for us to understand the immersive experiences that we can have, and how do you utilize this from the human resources and an organization and the industry perspective is about giving them a virtual tour, giving them sitting at one place. How do I make sure that they are available, they are aware about every nook and corner? This is the virtual and the augmented reality that we are speaking about, and there have been a lot of people who are utilizing it. And you need to understand that I think in one of the organizations, according to what PwC said, the utilizing the AR and the VR, there was around 4 times faster productivity in learning because they visually were involved in it. One is, whenever I am visualizing, whenever I'm seeing it, the visual stimulus is lot greater compared to any other parts of it. And these is being already proved by PwC, the Price Water Coopers. And this something which is going to come up, and you need to start looking forward for how do I need to embed as a part of my learning journey. Then comes the soft skills development in alignment with 21st century. 21st century is one of the most complex but also exciting journey, because this particular generation, according to me, has seen every other advancement, be it in telecom sector, be it in technology, be it in computer, be it in information technology, be it in healthcare, be it in automobile, any sector for that matter, we have seen the advancement leaps and bounds. So when it comes to the kind of a soft skills, I'm not too sure how many of you are aware about it. Soft skills are also called as power skills of late. Okay. The power skills or a soft skills contribute to around 80% of your job success. This is according to the Harvard study. How does it matter? 80% of job success. Why is it so? How is it even evaluated? It's simple. You are constantly telling the world what you are by the way how you behave, and that is soft skills. This development, be it in the problem solving, be it in collaboration, be it communication, be it leadership, be it decision making, be it negotiation skills, come up with any soft skills that you can align it for. This becomes an example to say that you need to be aware about the soft skills, because this is a lifelong learning. There is no particular yardstick to say that yeah, I have reached this particular destination. It's always been a journey, and you need to really enjoy this particular process. So be it with the kind of even empathy, for that matter, the time management, the kind of mindfulness, all of them happens to be the kind of the soft skills. And the hospitality and the kind of the chain of the healthcare management increasingly goes ahead to consistently work for soft skills, and particularly the customer facing domains, be it in the B2B or the B2C, obviously takes a toll, particularly when it comes to the soft skills, my dears. So 21st century, we look forward for 3L. We call it as a 3L methodology. One is literacy skills, one is learning skills, and one is life skills. Literacy skills is, are you aware about the digital uh, kind of a transformation that's happening? Or you abreast with the kind of a technological advancement? Or you adaptable for the technological advancement? Then comes as a part of your media and also the technology. Are you aware about it? This is the literacy. Are you aware? Are you literate about it? Next comes the kind of learning skills. Learning skills is critical thinking, creative intelligence, collaboration, etc. And then comes the life skills. Life skills is more of your productivity, you as a person, and all your personality traits comes as a part of your soft skills, as a part of your 21st century. This is extremely, extremely consequential in the years to come. As I said, there is no destination. As I said, there is no yardstick, there is no magnitude that you have arrived at it. Every other day, you will have to enhance your skills, particularly in the soft skills, with various different roles that you're going to play across your career. At last but not the least, the latest trend as a part of your L&D is emphasis on employee well-being and mental health programs. How is it relevant to the kind of L&D? Is this something to do with learning and development? Anybody has the doubt on saying, how has it got to do with the employee health and the mental well-being with respect to learning and development? Anybody who would want to question that and say that this is irrelevant? Is this irrelevant, my dears?
No, ma'am, it's not irrelevant. It's 100% relevant, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very well said. So, there is a direct impact of mental health on the productivity, engagement, and retention of all your employees, including us as an employee. If you're an employer sitting on the other end to say, oh, there are so many employees of mine, there are so many teams of mine, there are so many individuals in our organization, you will have to focus on the mental health and their kind of a well-being. Next is, if you are an employee, I think this is more relevant enough to understand how important is it. There are days where you are really low on your energy for various different reasons, and your productivity is not up to the mark, or your productivity might not be same as last week to this week, just because of the various different physical constraints or the kind of the life situations and scenarios, anything for that matter. But the direct impact of the productivity is with respect extremely vital. And Deloitte was one of the organization which actually did this study as a part of their investment as well. They said that while they invest $1 in the mental health, they looked forward, the yield was $4 in return as a part of their enhanced productivity. I repeat, Deloitte was one of the organization which invested $1 for the towards the mental health, which actually gave the results. The return on investment was the mental health enhancement yielded with a $4 yield as a part of their return in the productivity of their employee, and this happened in Deloitte. Enhancement and the kind of engagement and the retention is something which has a kind of a ripple effect when it comes to well-being, and initiatives like a particularly mindfulness or the kind of taking care of the family or taking care of the peer support groups. These are all the different strategies that one can adapt as a part of the employee well-being programs. And more than 76% of the employees, according to the Forbes survey, more than around 76% of the employees endorse and accept that the mental health resources is very critical at a workplace. And we need to have, if I have nobody to share, how do I go about it? And can I teach them emotional intelligence? Can I teach them critical thinking in during the emotional highs and lows? What should I do when there is an emotional hijack? So basically, we all have a first aid in our at our homes, at our workplace. In just similarly, for a first aid, like a physical, for a physiological body, we have a first aid. We know what to do when there is a bruise, when there is somebody a burn, when there is something that has happened. But in the similar way, mental issues. It can be stress, it can be depression, it can be feeling low, it can be energy at various different levels. But do we have a remedy for it? Just because something is not visible, it does not mean that it is absent. I repeat, just because something is invisible, it does not mean that it is absent. So, employee mental health, my dears, all the prospective HR professionals, I emphasize this because I work in the sector of the mental health as well, because I'm professional counselor and I personally am an expert with adolescent counseling. So, with the kind of the stress levels and the kind of anxiety that is increasing of late, I sometimes it really shakes me, because the way I look at the kids who are in their adolescence and the way they look forward and the kind of the things that really breaks up as a part of their relationship, etc., they really get shaken. And how do we need to go about it, and the kind of an anxiety that they look forward, the confusion, the disturbance that they look forward, and the things, the complexity and the social media impact that they have in the kind of impressing someone is also on a high rise. And you do the things just to ensure that you are impressive as a part of your social media life, which is very virtual. So this is where your employee well-being, once when you are in that zone of attention seeking, that okay, I have posted my selfie, if I don't get the likes, my peace of mind is shaken. That is where you need to question yourself, that is that so? I mean, is that what you're expecting? Is your dopamine only with the likes on the social media post? And if you are somebody who get trolled or who get negative comment, or how capable and courageous are you to take that? That is your well-being from an individual perspective, and it will impact your work. If it impacts your studies, if you're a student, it will also impact your work, because you need to understand that the difference between the virtual world and the real world, and make the connections more from a real world perspective and not from the virtual world perspective. This is something that I would want to say as a part of learning, as the different trends that is shaping up the future of the L&D. And some of the things when it comes to the soft skills is also the case that I would want to show it to you when it comes to career of the CSR, that is customer service representatives. How do you enhance the customer satisfaction when it comes to the case study? List down all your soft skills training modules. This is just an example. If you are in the various different sectors, how do you go about it? If you're a software engineer, if you're in the IT industry, if you're in an automobile industry, if you're in a healthcare or a hospitality domain, what is the competency that you're looking out for? What is the soft skill relevant for that particular domain and that particular sector and that particular role? How do you need to go about it? And this is something which is important. These have been the trends of across the L&D part of it and the future. We spoke about various different trends, be it microlearning, be it personalized, be it the the mental well-being as a part of your health programs, be it as a part of your AR and the VR part of the things, or the data analytics. This is the trend. Embrace that, each one of you. And if at all you want some more information or the kind of the clarification that you would need, I would want to open the platform to ask any questions. I'm more than happy to answer. Okay, thank you, Jyoti. That's a great endorsement, very informative. Thank you, Ashwini. Okay, I have one question on how to improve soft skills and communication skill like you. Okay, Junaid, there is no secret around it. Communication, Junaid, is a combination of information and expression with confidence. When you are confident about the information that you have, you will have to have that courage to say, and you automatically get it, by the way. But expression, how do I go ahead to beat the expression is, whatever I'm saying, I need to do my homework. And when it comes to the communication, it's about language and the vocabulary and the amassing of the information that you need. I don't do anything special as such, but I'm a voracious reader. I read quite a lot, and I listen quite a lot as a part of various different TED Talks or podcasts or the kind of interviews. So there are a bunch of things that I personally learn even while I'm driving. I utilize all that moments to ensure that I emphasize more on the consuming content. And also, while you're consuming a content, one of the best ways to improve your communication is also to give. So you also need to start teaching someone. You also need to, not necessarily in a webinars or anything, pick up your friend or anything like that. I need to teach you a concept. Let's discuss, let's brainstorm. While you consume, you also need to deliver. This is where your communication ensures that it takes into a different level. But reading and writing is something that you will have to invest on if you want your communication to be at place. Okay, thank you so much, Piyush, in the way presented, and thank you. I am okay, yes, by practicing to talk to a mirror and record yourself and practice to watch it. Yeah, Piyush, that's right. You can also, if at all you have this, if you're scared to face people, public speaking, for public speaking, we greatly endorse to say, speak in front of the mirror and ensure that, wherever you are committing a mistake or wherever you are filling the gaps with, I mean, these are some of the vacuum killers. Okay, so you are not supposed to do this. particularly when it comes to public speaking, and we endorse that. Okay. I think I have somebody called as Bellur Iyengar Yoga Center. I'm really not sure of your name though, but I assume that, hello, madam. I'm Manohar. Yeah, Manohar from SRSI Group of Institutions. Session was wonderful and informative. And I have a question. Could you light it? What tools or the platforms do you recommend for micro learning? I hope that's the one. I think I have lost that in case. Okay, let me just figure that out. um, Okay, there are too many messages coming in, but coming across with respect to the micro learning, there are part of shorts as well that LMS does it, Mr. Manohar. Plus, along with it, micro learning, there are some of the platforms, particularly Quizzy or H5P, that normally people adapt, particularly from academic perspective, and they go ahead to adapt to this particular aspect. To for the micro learning, micro learning is either you customize it or you consume it. This is where the micro learning comes into the place. I hope that's the one. And okay, thank you, informative, and great job in 2025. How to get a great job in 2025? Okay, Priya, that is something which is extremely elaborative question. We will have to do another session on to break interviews and how do we want to go about it. I will tell Lakshmi you can add that particular topic, and I'm more than happy to say how do you get a great job in 2025, because it's all to do with your profile building. How have you prepared to crack for a job interview, and how do you present at your best, and also to ensure that you do your homework before you get onto a conference room where you're taking your interview. So there are series and steps around it, and we can definitely have another session for that. Okay, well, there are quite a lot of them. Learning has shifted from traditional methods to digital. Yes, Ashwini, that's right. And yeah, Lakshmi, are you there? Is there something that I have left? Any feedback link for the participants? Okay.
Feedback link I would be sending. Now there is like how to control hand gestures while speaking. So can I get your good name, please? Who is this entertainer 99? Because he has been asking the previous question also he has asked. So Vaibhav. Yeah, thanks, Vaibhav. Yes, Pratima ma'am. Yes, he is asking how to control hand gestures while speaking.
Okay. Hand gestures is important, Vibe. If you ask me, there is an optimal way of utilizing your hand gestures. You cannot be like everywhere as a part of your hand gestures, but body language is something which is extremely important as a hand gestures. Right now, I just I use a lot of my hands. Okay. Body language, particularly when you are speaking, the eye contact, the kind of the hand, the hand gestures are something which is important. And I would not say, I would want to say what you should not do rather than what should you do. It's not about controlling. If you're fidgeting, say for instance, if you're fidgeting and if you're sweating, that is where you need to, there is a stress level because of which you start fidgeting. Okay, body language is very unconscious in nature, and we start communicating unconsciously because body language is extremely very natural with all of us. So you need to ensure what are those flip sides of your um, body language as a part of your hand gestures. Or you using it too much, or you utilizing it too very little? What exactly is it? Control is, we control things only when it is overdone. So are you overdoing it? And if you are overdoing it, what are you overdoing it? And that is something which is important. If you can catch hold of that, then we can help you out in what is that you need to control on. But if you're using hand gestures, my dear, I think you should use it because it makes a lot of difference. And hand gestures also helps your listeners particularly to visualize what are you trying to say, and this is actually a value addition. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Very informative communication, never ending process. Absolutely, Harleen. Learning process is never ending. I'm seeing some bunch of messages right now. I had not seen that yet. But anyone have any other questions? Happy to answer. I have also given you
Uh, uh,
my link. There was some professor who actually
excuse
asked
me, ma'am.
my details. I think I have shared it on the screen right now. You can get in touch. Or I am on social media everywhere. You can catch hold of me. So over there, I'm on LinkedIn. You just a message away. I will be able to do that,
Okay.
and happy to help you in any angle.
So, excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a question from one of the participant who logged in through YouTube. Okay. So, the question is, what type of
Okay.
software AVL for productivity improvement?
Sorry, Lakshmi, can you repeat that for me,
So,
please?
what type of software is available for productivity improvement?
Okay, see, the productivity improvement is not about a software capture. Productivity with what is something which is important. For a HR, for a recruiter, okay, let me give you an example. If you're a HR professional and if you're a recruiter, your productivity is number of positions that you have screened and filled as a part of your target is your productivity. As for an L&D professional, how efficiently have you delivered your training is a productivity. For a customer service agent, your productivity is how many calls as a part of your first term resolution it happened and what is your scores of your customer service rates. If you are an automobile engineer and did you design something or are you manufacturing something, that's one of them. For a doctor, it is number of operations that is being done. So, my dear, the productivity is different for every role. So, you need to come out with what is a metrics for the productivity for every role that you have it as a part of your organization. Like if it is an academician, if it is a lecturer, if it's a professor, the number of classes that they are taking and the number of students who have passed with what percentage is a productivity. So, every other role or the kind of the position that we are in has a different productivity, and the results can be very timely. You know, number of the for a recruiter or for a customer service agent, it will be okay, this is at the end of the day this was my productivity. But for an instance, for a lecturer and an academician, it cannot be end of day, it can be an end of examination, it can be end of academic year. So the time factor and the role that you are in becomes extremely vital. And once when you capture that, what is the kind of a performance that you are going through can be entwined, can be injected to the software to say that this is the productivity that can be done. So it is more to do with what is that you are expecting. The key performance indicators will give you the productivity. Short question with a long answer, pretty
Yes.
elaborative.
Yeah, thank you for it. And there is one more also from one more from YouTube. So it is, they are asking, how should we improve our vocab?
Okay. As I told you, vocabulary is all about how inclined and how excited are you with language. Vocabulary can be both for any language. It can be regional language, it can be English, it can be Hindi, it can be once when you enhance it, you'll also have to apply that, implement it in your day-to-day conversation. That is how the vocabulary secret is all about to crack. And one of the best practices that I do is whenever I encounter something which is very nice word, I pin it and I write it as well, because I'm also a person who writes it in black and white. So I make a note of it, or I pin it in the software as well to utilize it very often. Okay. Anything else, Lakshmi?
1 minute. I'm just checking, going through the chat.
Sure.
Um, that's it from there, ma'am. Yeah, and
Okay.
let me check it in Zoom too. Zoom, I
Absolutely.
think, yes, everything we have done. And now let's start winding the session. So, yes, first of all, thank you so much for giving us such an engaging and enthralling session on the future of NLD today. And on behalf of SEMS, I would thank you once again. So, the key takeaway which we have got from this session is how learning has changed from traditional method to lifelong. And about learning. So very skillfully, Dr. Pratima has, explained how it is related with the human brain, and also touched upon few upcoming technologies like gamification and interactive infographics, and how to use JIT, just-in-time learning, and also to customize learning from each person's learning, on how each person can use it for learning. Now coming to the data analytics about the key metrics, how it is used, and ROI, and also skillfully answered a question on how to control our body language too. Most engaging participant we have in the session is Vaibhav. Finally, to add beauty and memorability to our session, I encourage everyone to turn on their cameras and shout cheese so that we may take a quick picture. As a reminder, please turn on your camera, please. Ma'am, request you to please stop sharing so that I can take a picture of everyone here. So once again, I
I'm
request all
done.
the participants here to please keep your camera on at least for a couple of minutes. Yes. Yeah, thank you for this. One second here, I missed out.
Did you capture all of them? There are quite a lot, though.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah, yeah. That's what and there are few logged in through YouTube also. So I'm just trying to capture it. Yeah, I did capture everyone. Um,
you. Okay,
yes.
great.
Ha. And thank you once again, Dr. Pratima ma'am, for giving us such a nice session. This 1.5 hours, actually, the session was supposed to be 1 hour, but 1.5 hours went away very quickly. And by the way, I would request all the participants present here to fill in the feedback form, which is dropped in the chat box. The feedback form would be active for around 5 to 6 hours from now. Thank you once more for participating in today's webinar. You can reach us by phone or email if you have any queries or questions. We are pleased to offer you further assistance. And don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel and other social media icons. So
Great.
coming to the next part, I would like to inform you that we have an upcoming webinar which is on the topic of unlocking the basics of numerology, a beginner's guide, which is taking place on Jan 12th, this Sunday at 11:15 a.m. So I, Lakshmi, your host for the day, would sign off with a cheerful note. Thank you. Have a nice day and wonderful day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and wish you all the very best of luck. Thank you.